What's up guys, Nashti here and welcome back to my channel. So basically, we're now at the flagship killer segment. Ito yung nasa 20,000 to 30,000 pesos price range. So surprisingly, there are less than 10 of them launched in the Philippines this year. Unlike dun sa mga lower segments, madami silang naglalaban-laban. Pero dito, onti lang. So gumawa ako ng 5 na short list. So you'd see them in a few minutes. So that's 2019, Q1 to Q4. So among the features of these smartphones are super fast charging, super AMOLED display, triple to quad camera setup, 4K video recording, NFC, water and dust resistance, at marami pang iba. So wag na nating patagalin pa, let's get down to business because it's about to get nasty.
Isang paalala, ang video na ito ay hindi katang-isip lamang. Ito ay pinag-isipan na talagang pinaghirapan. Kaya huwag kalimutang i-like at mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel. I-follow mo na rin ako sa Facebook, Twitter at Instagram. We have 5 competing smartphones on this price range. So there are some that almost made it, like the OnePlus 7T. However, it costs a little over 30,000 pesos, so it didn't make the cut. So let's find out which smartphones I am talking about. Alphabetical order, we start with the Huawei P30, which packs a 6.1-inch OLED display of 1080p Full HD resolution. It runs Android 9 Pie with EMUI 9.1 on top and is powered by an octa-core high-silicon Kirin 980 processor. It has 128 gigs of nano memory expandable storage and 8 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 40-megapixel primary camera, an 8-megapixel 3x optical zoom telephoto camera, and a 16-megapixel ultra-wide camera. It's also capable of recording 4K videos and slow-mo videos at 960 frames per second. In front, it has a 32-megapixel selfie camera. Among its prominent features are NFC, a 22.5-watt fast charge support, an in-display fingerprint scanner, a 3.5mm jack, and IP53 dust and water resistance. Released in March of 2019, it retails for 29,990 pesos. What I like about the Huawei P30 is its OLED HDR DCI P3 display, its flagship chipset, its telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom, in-display fingerprint scanner, Dolby Atmos sound, NFC, its very fast charge support, and dust and water resistance. However, I don't like its hybrid nano memory card slot, the lack of FM radio, and the lack of an LED notification light. Up next is the Oppo Reno 2, which packs a 6.5-inch AMOLED display of 1080p Full HD resolution protected by Gorilla Glass 6. It runs Android 9 Pie with ColorOS 6.1 on top and is powered by a mid-range octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G chipset with 256 gigs of expandable storage and 8 gigs of RAM. It has a quad camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 13-megapixel 2x optical zoom telephoto camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 2-megapixel black and white sensor. It's also capable of shooting 4K videos. In front, we have a pop-up 16-megapixel selfie camera. Among its prominent features are NFC, a large 4000 mAh battery, 20 watts fast charge support, a 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, and an in-display fingerprint scanner. Released in October 2019, it retails for 28,990 pesos. What I like about the Oppo Reno 2 is its AMOLED display with Gorilla Glass 6 protection, its generous storage option, its quad camera setup with 4K video recording, its pop-up selfie camera with its own LED flash, its in-display fingerprint scanner, NFC, Dolby Atmos sound, and very fast charge support. What I don't like is its hybrid micro SD card slot and its lack of LED notification light. Then we have the Samsung Galaxy A70, which packs a large 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display of 1080p Full HD resolution with Gorilla Glass 3 protection. It runs Android 9 Pie with One UI on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 chipset, with 128 gigs of expandable storage and 6 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 32-megapixel primary camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 5-megapixel depth sensor. It's also capable of shooting 4K videos. In front, it has a 32-megapixel selfie camera. Among its prominent features are NFC, a large 4500 mAh battery, and 25 watts fast charge support. It also has a 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, and an in-display fingerprint scanner. Released in March 2019, it retails for 22,990 pesos. What I like about the Samsung Galaxy A70 is its Super AMOLED display, its Gorilla Glass 3 protection, its in-display fingerprint scanner, its large battery capacity, its very fast charging support, and NFC. What I don't like is its relatively weak chipset and the lack of LED notification light. Up next is the Vivo V17 Pro with a 6.44-inch Super AMOLED display of 1080p Full HD resolution and Gorilla Glass 6 protection. It runs Android 9 Pie with FunTouch OS 9.1 on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 chipset with 128 gigs of non-expandable storage and 8 gigs of RAM. It has a quad camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 13-megapixel telephoto camera with 2x optical zoom, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. It's also capable of shooting 4K videos. In front, it has a pop-up dual camera setup with a 32-megapixel primary camera coupled with an 8-megapixel ultra-wide angle camera. Among its prominent features are NFC, a large 4100 mAh battery, 18 watts fast charge support, a 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, and an in-display fingerprint scanner. Released in October 2019, it retails for 21,999 pesos. What I like about the Vivo V17 Pro is its Super AMOLED display, its Gorilla Glass 6 protection, its quad camera setup with 4K video recording, its dual pop-up selfie camera, its in-display fingerprint scanner, NFC, and fast charge support. What I don't like is its plastic frame, its relatively weak chipset, the lack of micro SD card slot, and the lack of LED notification light. Last but not the least, we have the Xiaomi Mi 9, which packs a 6.39-inch Super AMOLED display of 1080p Full HD resolution protected by Gorilla Glass 6. It runs Android 9 Pie with MIUI 10 on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset with 64 gigs of non-expandable storage and 6 gigs of RAM. It has a triple camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera coupled with a 12-megapixel 2x optical zoom telephoto camera and a 16-megapixel ultra-wide camera. It's also capable of recording 4K videos and slow-mo videos up to 960 frames per second. In front, we have a 20-megapixel selfie camera. Among its prominent features are NFC, infrared port, 27 watts fast charging, an in-display fingerprint scanner, and an LED notification light. It was released in March 2019 and it retails for 22,990 pesos. What I like about the Xiaomi Mi 9 is its Super AMOLED display with Gorilla Glass 6 protection, its flagship chipset, its in-display fingerprint scanner, its very fast charge support, NFC, infrared port, and LED notification light. What I don't like is the lack of micro SD card slot, the lack of an FM radio, the lack of a 3.5mm audio jack, and its relatively small battery capacity. And the best smartphone is the Huawei P30. If you can afford its almost 30,000 peso price tag, then it's a no-brainer because it's the winner in almost all categories. One of the honorable mentions is the Oppo Reno 2. While it ticks all your boxes, it lacks a flagship-grade chipset. If you find the first two smartphones expensive, then the Xiaomi Mi 9 might be best for you. While it has a flagship chipset and other great specs, it lacks a micro SD card slot, an FM radio, and a 3.5mm jack.
So, do you guys agree with the results of this comparison? Sa tingin nyo ba tama yung ginawa kong winner for this list of smartphones priced 20,001 to 30,000 pesos? So, let me know in the comment section below if you agree or not. So, thank you so much guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Only here on the channel where Nashti is nice. I'm Nashti. Till then.